Hello students, myself Hari Prasad, lecturer in chemistry, SRPU College Hebri. In the chapter equilibrium, in the previous video you studied about the different acids and bases, the different theories of acids and bases, and some of the ionization constants. In this class, we will continue the ionization constant of water and its ionic product. Okay, so first of all you all know what is ionization constant, and now let me apply it for water. Now, water is a one special substance. It sometimes acts as an acid and sometimes acts as a base. Okay, if you add water to an acidic medium, in the acidic medium it accepts a proton, so it acts as a base, and in the basic medium it acts as an acid. Okay, so we'll understand when it acts as an acid, when it acts as a base, what are the conjugate acid base pairs of water. From there you can understand what is ionization constant, and a new expression we will derive, that is the ionic product of water. Now let me consider water in the liquid form. It acts as an acid. It is mixed with the water in the liquid form, which acts as a base. Now there is an equilibrium after ionization of this water. If it is an acid, its conjugate acid, usually for acid we will write a conjugate base, for a base we will write a conjugate acid, which you already studied. So if it accepts a proton, the base accepts a proton, it will become H3O plus in the aqueous form. Since it is accepted a proton, it is a conjugate acid. I hope you are understanding. It's a conjugate acid, and the one which loses H plus now becomes a conjugate base. The left out is OH minus. That is a conjugate base. OH minus is also in the aqueous form. It is a conjugate base. Okay. So there is an equilibrium between water and its conjugate acid and base. We can write the ionization constant as K for this expression, for this particular equilibrium. We can write as concentration of H3O plus and concentration of OH minus divided by concentration of H2. Okay, so this is ionization constant for water. Okay, now in this case you have to understand, since water is a pure substance, its concentration remains a constant. We can ignore the denominator, so we can write as K is equal to concentration of H3O plus and concentration of OH minus. Okay, so incorporating the concentration of water here, you can also write it as, we can get a new expression, that is Kw is equal to concentration of H plus into concentration of OH minus. Okay, so remember this is called ionic product of water. Okay, so definition you can give based on this, but you understood Kw is the expression for ionic product of water. There is a concentration of H plus into concentration of OH minus. The concentrations of hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ions are considered. Okay, so same expression I modified a little for getting ionic product of water. Now experimentally, when the value of H plus ion concentrations are calculated, okay, this is not a theoretical value, experimentally concentration of H plus ions is calculated and it is obtained as 1 into 10 to the power minus 7 molar, and the concentration of H plus is equal to concentration of OH minus. Okay, that is also same. With the values we can substitute and get a value of ionic product of water. Students, you must remember here, the ionic product of water, it is depending on the temperature. Okay, so what value I told you, 1 into 10 to the power minus 7 for H plus, it is at 298 Kelvin. That point you have to remember, it is at 298 Kelvin. So being a equilibrium constant, it is a temperature dependent. So 1 into 10 to the power minus 7, it is a concentration of H plus. The concentration of OH minus is also same, 1 into 10 to the power minus 7 molar. So if you substitute here, in place of H plus you can write H3O plus also. So ionic product of water, what we got, you can write it as, it is 1 into 10 to the power minus 7 okay, square, because the concentrations of these two are same. So I can write ionic product of water is 10 to the power minus 14 at 298 Kelvin. That is the important thing you have to know. Okay, ionic product of water is 10 to the power minus 14 at 298 Kelvin. Okay, so this is easy about ionization constant of water and the dissociation constant or ionization constant and ionic product of water. Okay, so next we have to understand what is the relationship between unionized water and ionized water. Okay, so how they are related, how it is related to the molarity, try to understand. So before that, I think you are clear with this. Okay, so conjugate acid base pair we wrote for water, and we understood ionization constant of water and ionic product of water. From there we got, remember, at 298 Kelvin the value of Kw, okay, that is the ionic product of water, is 10 to the power minus 14. Okay, the next important thing you have to understand, density of pure water. We know density of pure water, we express it as gram per liter. Density of pure water is 1000 gram per liter, and we know the molar mass of water is 18 gram per mole. Now from this we can calculate a molarity of water. The molarity of pure water, you can calculate it as 1000 divided by 18. The units remain same, the gram per liter for the density and gram per mole for the molar mass. When you simplify this, it becomes a 55.55, okay, molar. This is a molarity of pure water from the density and the molecular mass or molar mass. Okay, from this what you can understand is, what is the ratio of dissociated water and undissociated water. Now dissociated water is nothing but the molarity is this one, okay, and this is for undissociated water, and for dissociated we understood 10 to the power minus 7. So the ratio of, try to understand, ratio of undissociated water, okay, to dissociated water. We know in the dissociation or ionization constant we already understood. So the ratio we can express it as 10 to the power minus 7 divided by 55.55. Okay, it comes close around 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 9. Okay, approximately equal to 2. That means the equilibrium is towards the undissociated water. From this what you can understand, the equilibrium is towards undissociated water. Okay, and very important thing you have to understand, based on the hydronium ion concentration and hydroxyl ion concentration, remember the three simple things here. If hydronium ion concentration is greater than concentration of hydroxyl ion, now generally the solution becomes acidic. The solution can be acidic, basic or neutral based on the comparison with these values. So if hydronium ion concentration is greater than hydroxyl ion concentration, solution is acidic. Okay, now if hydronium ion concentration is equivalent to the concentration of hydroxyl ion, then it will become neutral. Whereas if the hydronium ion concentration is less than the concentration of hydroxyl ion, or if the concentration of hydroxyl ion is greater, then solution becomes basic. Okay, so solution, is it acidic, basic, neutral, we can discuss based on the pH scale in detail later, but based on the hydronium ion concentration and hydroxyl ion concentration, we can predict easily whether the solution is acidic, basic or neutral based on that. Okay, so that's all about the dissociation constant. Next we will continue with the pH in detail. Okay, I hope you understood till here. Concentration of hydronium ion and hydroxyl ion, comparison between them decides the solution, is it acidic, basic or neutral. Okay, students, I told you about the hydronium ion concentration and OH minus or hydroxyl ion concentration. Comparison decides the solution, is it acidic or basic. but basically the hydronium ion concentration can be conveniently expressed with the logarithm scale. Okay, so that scale is called as a pH scale. Basically you try to remember hydronium ion concentration is nothing but concentration of H plus. Okay, so here if you are expressing the hydronium ion concentration in the logarithm, simple, I can write it as negative logarithm to the base 10 of activity of H plus. Okay, try to understand. We can say pH is equal to negative logarithm to the base 10 of activity of H plus. Now the question will ask, what is this activity of H plus? Now activity of H plus has no proper unit, but the magnitude of that is comparable in a dilute solution as a concentration of H plus only. Okay, are you following? The activity of H plus in a dilute solution is nothing but the magnitude of H plus only. So I can write it as pH is equal to negative logarithm to the base 10 of hydrogen ion concentration. So you can define even based on this only. pH is a negative logarithm to the base 10 of hydronium ion concentration or hydrogen ion concentration or activity of hydrogen ions or H plus. Okay, so using this you can easily calculate the pH of any of the solutions. How can you calculate a pH of any solution? Say for example an acid or acid like HCl has a H plus ion concentration, maybe it is given 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 molar. What is the pH of the solution? Okay, suppose the hydrogen ion concentration given like this, you can easily substitute this in the previous formula. So you can write it as minus log to the base 10 of hydrogen ion concentration, that is 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, so log AB is equal to log A plus log B. You can simplify, the minus minus cancels, it becomes a 3 minus log 2. I hope you understood. I didn't show all the steps there. Okay, you can write as a minus log to the base 10 of 2 plus minus log to the base 10 of 10 to the power minus 3. Minus minus cancels, it becomes plus 3 minus log 2. So on simplification it becomes 3 minus log 2 value is a 0.3010. Okay, so the answer comes as a 2.699. So this is how you can calculate for a 2 marks the calculations on a pH when the hydrogen ion concentration is given directly. Okay, so if the value is 2.6 or less than 7, we call it as an acidic. Okay, so what you have to remember here is when the pH value is less than 7, okay, if it is less than 7, then the solution becomes acidic. If pH value is equal to 7, you have to remember the pH of pure water is 7, it is neutral. pH is equal to 7 means it is neutral, and if it is greater than 7, then it becomes basic. Okay, so we already understood in the ionization constant of water, hydrogen ion concentration is experimentally concluded that it is 10 to the power minus 7 molar. So based on this I am telling you pH of pure water is 7. Okay, so I wrote here less than 7, equal to 7, greater than 7. On what basis? pH of pure water is 7, it is neutral, and if the pH value is more than 7, it becomes basic. If pH value is less than 7, it becomes acidic. Okay, so now you have to remember one more simple expression. We know that the ionization constant or ionic product of water we understood, Kw is equal to concentration of hydronium ion into concentration of hydroxyl ion, and that is equal to 10 to the power minus 14 we understood. Okay, so if you take the logarithm on both the sides, okay, if you multiply with the minus log on both the sides, it becomes usually you can get it pKw also when you take it. So you can understand easily the hydronium ion concentration and hydroxyl ion concentration. If you substitute from this, you can easily say pH plus pOH is equal to 14. Okay, so from this what you will understand, pH scale ranges from 0 to 14. 0 to 7 is acidic, 7 to 14 is basic, whereas 7 is neutral. Okay, so now the question will ask, suppose if a solution is given, what is the pH of the solution? Whether it is acidic, basic or neutral, how to decide? Okay, so you heard in the lower classes about the litmus paper. ಕೇಳಿದಿರಲ್ಲ, litmus paper color change ಆಗೋದು, ಅದು acidic ಮತ್ತೆ basic comparison ಗೆ. So that is a very old and classical method of determining solution is acidic or basic, but today we are using the pH papers. Okay, pH papers will have a different colors where you can identify the pH range from 0 to 14. But still, it is not giving you accurate value. There may be a small difference of 0.5 values in the pH, okay, and more accurate values of pH can be determined using the pH meters. Okay, so this is just for your information. I told you the pH of a given solution can be measured using pH papers or using pH meter. Okay, so this is easy about a pH scale. What you understood here? You understood what is pH. Okay, you understood how to calculate the pH of a given solution. Any carbonated water, some soft drinks, the hydrogen concentration is so and so. If values are given like this, you can substitute and simplify. Okay, so there are many worked out examples are there in the textbook. You can try, but this is the simplest way. When the concentration of hydrogen ion given directly, you can substitute in the formula and simplify so that you can get the pH and you can conclude the given solution, is it acidic, basic, okay, or neutral. Are you understanding? So this is simple about pH scale. Okay students, look at some of the common substances and their pH values. 0.1 molar NaOH solution will have a basic pH and its pH is 13. Lime water 10.5. Milk of magnesia, that is magnesium hydroxide, having a pH value 10. Egg white and sea water has got a value of pH 7.8. Human blood has a pH of 7.4. okay, so these are the some of the values you can understand. Almost they have a basic pH. Now coming to some more examples, milk has a pH of 6.8. Human saliva has got a pH 6.4. All these you study about enzymatic activity in detail. At what particular pH the enzyme will be more efficient. Okay, lemon juice has got a pH value approximately 2.2. Gastric juices, which is responsible for some of the processes in the digestion, they have a pH value close to 1.2. And concentrated HCl, okay, it has got a pH value close to 1. So these are some of the common substances, and this makes your curiosity to know. In the chemistry lab you use so many solutions, so many reagents used in the different experiments. Then you try to think about what is a pH. Is it acidic, basic? Okay, don't try just by dipping the finger, because I told you pH can be measured using the pH papers or by the pH meter, but you can easily understand what is the pH of some of the solutions we are using in a day-to-day life. Okay, so this is all about the pH of some of the substances. So after understanding about the pH, let me continue the ionization constant of weak acids. Similar to ionization constant of water, we can study about ionization constant of weak acids also. Let me consider a weak acid HX. Okay, HX stands for a weak acid. It dissociates partially. You have to understand there are two types of dissociation: complete dissociation and partial dissociation. Whenever we mention it is a weak acid, it undergoes a incomplete or partial dissociation. So it is a weak acid in the presence of water. We know it is in the liquid form. It undergoes a partial dissociation, means we will write a reversible sign. So what happens is it will usually undergo ionization or dissociation in such a way that it forms a H plus and X minus. That H plus is taken by H2O and it forms a H3O plus hydronium ion in the aqueous form, and the X minus getting separated. Okay, so that also in the aqueous form. So you understood HX being a weak acid undergoes a partial dissociation in the aqueous medium to form a hydronium ion and X minus. Okay, so now what we consider is, let at time 0 or at initial concentration, I will consider the concentration of weak acid as a C. What is C? It is the initial concentration or concentration at 0 time. Okay, now since it is at 0 time, the reaction is not started. I will write here it is not formed. I'll write it 0 and 0. Are you getting? So let C be the initial concentration of the weak acid. It is not dissociated at time 0, T0. Okay, now after particular time, if alpha is the extent of reaction, if alpha is the extent of dissociation, then I can write it is a C alpha. In terms of molar, we express the concentration after time T. Okay, so here we say it is getting formed. I will write here plus C alpha. Here also I will write plus C alpha. Okay, this is the extent of reaction. Reaction started here. So it is decreasing. The reactant side, the concentration of substance decreasing. Product side concentration is increasing. Okay, so now at equilibrium, what is the concentration? So you are getting C is the initial concentration, C alpha is the extent of dissociation. Now the concentration after particular time, or concentration at equilibrium, we express it as C minus C alpha. Got it? So C is the initial concentration, C alpha is the concentration after time T. So C minus C alpha is the concentration at equilibrium. So this will remain C alpha, and this is also remains a C alpha. So we can go ahead with now calculation of equilibrium constant. That is, you can write it as K is equal to, usually we write it as concentration of product by concentration of reactants. So we can substitute here, it is C alpha into C alpha divided by C minus C alpha. Okay, the numerator is the products and denominator is reactants. C alpha into C alpha divided by C minus C alpha. So on simplification, it becomes a C square alpha square divided by, I can take a C common outside, C into 1 minus alpha. Okay, now this C and C gets cancelled, and finally we get Ka. I wrote A for acid. Dissociation constant of acid Ka is equal to C alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha. Okay, so you'll ask now, what is the significance of this ionization constant or dissociation constant of weak acid? Now the value of Ka will predict, is it the strong acid or a weak acid? Okay, if the value of Ka is higher, it is a stronger acid. You have to remember, it will be asked in some competitive exams also. If the Ka values are given for the different acids, larger the value of Ka, more will be the dissociation, means more hydrogen ion concentration. That means there will be more stronger acidic strength. So Ka value decides the strength of the acid. So Ka is equal to C alpha square by 1 minus alpha, or based on the previous expression we can say Ka, the dissociation constant, we can also write it as the concentration of H plus, which is formed, ignoring the concentration of water there, concentration of H plus into concentration of X minus divided by concentration of Hx. Okay, Ka, the dissociation constant of weak acid, concentration of H plus into concentration of X minus divided by concentration of Hx, that is a weak acid or undissociated weak acid, or the expression which we got from this rate of dissociation, Ka is equal to C alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha. So there are different acids having a different values of Ka. You must remember the value of Ka to compare, is it a strong acid or a weak acid. Are you clear? So that is about the comparison of acidic strength based on the Ka values. Okay, after understanding ionization constant for different acids, look at some of the acids and their dissociation or ionization constant values. The first one, hydrofluoric acid HF, 3.5 into 10 to the power minus 4. Nitrous acid HNO2, 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 4. Formic acid HCOH, 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 4. Acetic acid CH3COH, 1.74 into 10 to the power minus 5. Benzoic acid C6H5COH, 6.5 into 10 to the power minus 5. Hydrocyanic acid HCN, its Ka value is 4.9 into 10 to the power minus 10. And phenol C6H5OH, 1.3 into 10 to the power minus 10. You no need to by heart or remember these values, okay, but just for a comparison, looking at the values of Ka, you can easily say among these acids which is the strongest acid or which is the weakest acid. Okay, so I told you already, larger the value of Ka, more will be the acidic strength. Okay, acid will be more stronger when the value of Ka is higher. So you can easily compare when the Ka values are given, whether it is a stronger acid or weaker acid. Among the two you can easily compare based on the Ka values. Okay, so that's all about dissociation of water, ionic product of water, pH, and ionization of a weak acid and ionization constant of acids. Okay, thank you.